Hi guys, welcome to Dragon's Cave. My name's Karen. I've been waiting for this for weeks, but I finally got it. It's the Fabergé style egg mould trinket box. So it comes in three parts. You get two that go together like that, and then the little lid. Well, it's not a lid actually; it's a top, and that pops on the top like that. You may have seen plenty of other people do this. So I'm doing it all in one colour, so it doesn't really matter. But if you are planning to do kind of like different colours in it, you need to be aware that it does have a shaping in here for where it sits together properly. So I kind of was going to paint the detail in the mould. Let me turn this inside out to show you. So I was going to paint all this in before I started, but given how clumsy I am, how much mess I make, and how difficult the metallic powder is to clean off where you don't want it to be, I'm actually going to pour it all in one colour and paint the detail in afterwards. Just get this back the right way around. So I'm going to be using, because I don't want to use any fillers in this one, I'm going to be using this deep pour resin from Rhino Smart Solutions. It's called Rhino Casti Deep. I've used it once or twice before. The only thing really with this is that it does tend to shrink quite a bit in the mould. So I need to be careful, keep an eye on that. So I'm going to go off, mix up my resin, and I will be back with you very shortly. Bye. Hey guys, we're back. So I've got my resin mixed up here. I've got 300 grams because I have no idea how much this mold actually holds. I'm going to colour it in this pretty, it's called Dodger Blue. I have no idea what that means. It's probably something to do with football. Very likely American football, since I don't follow British football. Okay, so I don't know how much of this I'm going to need. I did think about using a resin dye to have the actual resin transparent rather than opaque, but I'm not sure how resin dyes actually hold up. I know alcohol inks don't do too well in sunshine. I don't know about resin dyes. I'm going to do an experiment on that one of these days. Sooner than I think, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, let's get this mixed in. So, done my usual mistake of not mixing the powder with alcohol before I pop it in. This is a very nice, very clear, watery resin, very low viscosity, as most deep pours are. Actually a very nice colour, but I think I'm going to need it a little more opaque. I will spray a little alcohol. This is just some isopropyl alcohol. I've decanted into a spray bottle. I'm going to just spray some of that on there to help break up any lumps of unmixed mica powder. You do have with a deep pour resin, you do have a decent amount of working time. This, I believe, goes up to something like 4 inches deep. I'm just going to pop a little more in. Depends on your definition of a little, I suppose. But I don't know how well you can see the colour in the actual mixing bowl, but it is a beautiful blue. You may not actually be able to see the colour properly to appreciate it until I get the photographs at the end. But Let's get this mixed in. There are still a few lumps of powder in there. Pop a little more alcohol in, as the lumps will rise to the top anyway, so if I spray as they come up, hopefully that will help to break them up. If you spot any, you can just push them up to the side of the bowl, or whatever you happen to be using for mixing your resin in. There you go. And just squish it against the side of the pot. Break it down. So that looks fairly good. Oops, there's another. And a couple more. So just keep squishing them, crushing them. I think we're pretty good now. Let that sit for a second in case any more rise to the top. I can see one or two already have. And again, just going to give them a bit of a spray to help them break down. Okay, been pretty good. So wish me luck with this next bit, because this bowl is a little on the floppy side. I need to get tissue to put my stick on. Okay. Stop putting it off, get it done. Oops, first of all, because of the detail in the mould, I am going to spray a little bit of alcohol in here as well, just to kind of try and avoid sorry, just getting over a cold again. Between the colds and the hay fever, I'm having a bit of a rubbish year. As I was saying, there is quite a bit of detail in here. So I want to make sure, excuse me. Here we go. So I'm going to start with one of these. I'll pour this about halfway up and give them a bit of a squidge. Oops, that's a bit more than halfway. Yeah, I'll probably cut all that out. You do not want to be listening to me coughing my lungs up. So I'm just squishing around the edges to try and make sure there are no trapped bubbles. As I said, this is a deep pour resin, and it is very good in terms of degassing itself. It does release the bubbles very, very easily. Let's leave that for a second. Keep giving it a tap here and there. So I'll give that a few minutes, and then I will top it up, and I will see you for the next part. Bye. Hey guys, welcome back. Now obviously for you it's been very quick, but for me it's been a couple of days because of using the deep pour resin for this. So I'm kind of excited to see how this turns out. Assuming I can get it out at all. I'm going to go around and loosen all the way around the top. Don't want to damage the mould by forcing it before it's ready. Almost there. There we go. Okay. Cross everything. I'm going to have to lift this up. So I do try to keep this in shot for you, but it's not always possible. There we go. The easiest way to do this is just grab it and give it a little twist. It's actually come out really well. I don't see any bubbles in there at all. So, part one. Let's get the seam done with the next one. Just want to turn the mould back the right way around. I don't want it getting misshapen. So, same with this one. Separate the edges from the resin. And I'm actually really pleased that I didn't overdo the powder, because I wanted a little bit of translucency, and I have achieved that. So I'm very pleased about that part. There we go. Again, as far as I can see, there's absolutely zero bubbles in here. And given the level of detail, the deep pore resin is very good in terms of degassing itself. So, yeah, seems to be a tiny little, I don't know if you can see here, there's tiny micro bubbles right around the edge here. Now, you also may be able to see that it did shrink quite a bit in the mould on both pieces. So yeah, it sits like that. Slightly wobbly, but it's okay. Now for the top bit. This is going to be slightly more difficult, I think. May have to resort to alcohol on this one. Yeah, just going to squirt a little bit of isopropyl alcohol down inside the mould, just to loosen it up. May need a little more. Oh, no, there you go, it's separating. Broken the seal between the mould and the resin, so hopefully now I should be able to get this out. I turn it that way. There we go. So yeah, wipe the alcohol off before it gets sticky. Grab a tissue. Okay, so that will sit here. The next stage now is to paint the detail on the mould. I think before I do that though, I won't stick this on until everything's finished, but I think I will just put a thin coat of UV resin to fill the dip, just to give it a nicer finish. So I will do that, and I will come back to you when I'm ready to get the painting done. See you in a little while. Hey guys, these are all fully set now with the extra bit of resin I popped onto the ends there. So I'm going to, I'm dithering what colour to use actually. I was going to go with silver, but I think I might actually go with the gold. I'm going to use this Eddings pen. And I'm just going to start here. Oops, get it in shot first. And I'm going to just paint up, and it looks a little like rope. I'm going to round these as well. This is a really nice gold pen. I may have to actually resort to a brush to get these round blobs properly covered, because the nib is quite thick on this pen, so I can't really get down to the edges there as much as I would like. And to make sure it's done as neatly as possible. I'm not going to bore you with watching the whole process of painting these, partly because it's actually quite difficult for me to see what I'm doing. So I'm standing up, trying to check through the lens of the camera, make sure that you can see. And there's only so much standing up I can do. So you get the general idea. So I am going to switch off the camera, sit down and do the rest of this, and I will be back to you when it's finished. When I'm ready for the next stage anyway. So I've got a window here, so hopefully the light isn't too distracting here. Okay, so as I said, I'm going to sit down, get the rest of this done, and I will get back to you when I finish both parts. See you shortly. Hey guys, I don't know where we are. So this is all painted up now, and in here I'm going to use these there's 6mm sticky rhinestones. Now I don't particularly trust that they'll stick very well. I'm going to try. Oh, yeah, they're doing okay actually. They're sitting in there all right. Wasn't entirely sure whether 6mm was going to be big enough, but it appears to be. I'm just going to pop a couple of these in on camera, and I'm going to sit down and do the rest. Oops, it's a bit wonky. There we go. So I'm going to go fill all these in both parts, and I will come back to you when that's finished in its entirety. Or I may just stand here and fast forward you. Okay, this part's finally all done. Got the stones in all the way around. And the final part now is to just glue this finial onto the top. I'm just using contact adhesive that I got locally. It's pretty good, so hopefully quite a big dollop on there. Wipe off the end so that it doesn't drip down the sides. That would really kind of spoil things, wouldn't it? Just going to spread it out a little bit with, it does dry quite quickly, it's quite thick glue, so spread it as much as I can before I pop the top on. And again, rub my tissue so it doesn't drip everywhere. I need to make sure this is properly placed before I stick that on. So I'll just hold it in place so I can pick it up to show you. Yeah, overall I'm very pleased with it. It's not quite as transparent as I would have liked, but it's not too bad. And pop that off to show you. That's a good start. I was going to put a light in there, but I don't know what where I've put them, so I will wait until this is completely set, and then I'll get some photos for you. Hope you enjoyed that. Give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help my channel out a lot, and it doesn't cost you anything. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.